Oh, boy, the chat is already a mess. The chat is already just cooked. What's up, guys? We have a Friday night situation here with the FBI director, the deputy, the attorney general, a lot of various reports going around. Bongino or Bondi, all of MAGA's trying to get rid of Bondi. They're saying Bondi doesn't want to resign. And so we'll see what this little skirmish ends up resulting in. Will Rubio be acting? Yeah, probably. DOJ, probably. Rubio's already got 9 jobs. I saw a funny post about him coming in to be the AG as well, temporary AG. He's got like 9 positions, so they joke about it, but no, I never watched this the NBA Summer League. I never watch it. I don't really watch the NBA anymore, honestly, bro. Check Polymarket Trump cabinet odds. Yeah, that's probably the thing to look at. So that's what it is. Trump cabinet member out, 68% chance. Dan Bongino has a 54% chance of being gone. Bondi 32. So right now it looks like Bongino has the highest out of anyone. This is in 2025. Mark Waltz was already reassigned. They're just blaming for yeah. So this is what I think is happening. It's to me, MAGA. I mean, it's been a terrible situation for Trump. So you're trying to reassign the blame, and they're trying to put it all on Bondi. Let's say Bondi is removed. They might decide to release something and then just have Bondi be the fall guy or girl, I guess, in this sense. And I think it's probably setting up something like that. The issue is if Bondi is removed, that doesn't solve the Epstein saga, the problem with the Epstein stuff. But you can kind of put it on her and then maybe release something, even if it's not much, and say, well, it was Bondi that she was the issue. And so maybe they can try and publicly swing it like that if Bondi leaves. There's reports that say Bondi wants to stay and she thinks they've done a great job. And there's some reports saying Patel is on Bondi's side even over Bongino, but also there's other reports saying Patel could be gone with Bongino and they're both threatening to leave if they don't get rid of Bondi. If Trump may have to pressure Bondi out. So I don't know. Bongino will quit to save his podcast career. Yeah, so if you guys don't know, Dan Bongino was, I don't want to call him an influencer because he's like fucking 60 or whatever, but he was the biggest podcaster or Republican influencer, whatever you want to call it, whether it's Rumble, whether it's YouTube, anything. He was number one by far. And people said it was all boomers and stuff, and maybe it was that listened to him, but he still had a massive audience. And so him leaving that and sacrificing that and going to be with in the FBI and now have this happen, it's concerning. F Mary Kill Game, Bondi, Levitt, AOC. I mean, I probably think I like Levitt the most out of those three. So would you marry her? Probably like Bondi the least. It was definitely boomers, and also the other problem with Rumble is the way they count their viewers is really, with Rumble, I don't think the viewers on live streams ever go down. It's like X. With YouTube, you'll see viewer fluctuation. My stream will fluctuate viewers. I'll be at like 500 viewers, and then at the end of the stream, I'll be at like 300. With a lot of these other services like X and Rumble, I think the viewer, like the live viewer count, even though it's really not what it is, it keeps increasing. Because once you have a viewer, the viewer technically is stuck. Even if it leaves, you still have that viewer on the view count thing. So it's an interesting little thing that they do. It boosts up a bunch of views. Nasdaq 420 might surpass efficiency. The efficiency coin is dead, dude. The efficiency coin died because it was a total flop, and to me, of course, it's gonna pass it. What's the most likely resolution to the Russia-Ukraine war? It'd have to be heavy pressure onto Russia. I mean, they've already tried that, but it'd be heavy pressure onto Russia through sanctions and weaponry for Ukraine, and then Russia agrees to some type of deal. Russia's going to annex land. That was always going to happen, but hopefully we can pressure them into agreeing to something. Mr. Clean, I appreciate it. Big reason why they canned Gates was due to sexual assault allegations, but Epstein and his clients are okay though. Well, yeah, well Gates was never going to get through. Gates, I don't think would have ever gotten confirmed, and they knew it. And also, I mean, that is an issue, whether you think it's real or not. That does become a problem because it is baggage, especially for a role like Attorney General. But I mean, what you're comparing is, Epstein. That was a completely different situation, than Gates trying to become a member. I know the contradiction, but they're just trying to protect themselves and protect the CIA, the FBI, and Mossad is what I would say, because there's a lot of people involved and it's very complicated. And Dershowitz and others will make the argument that, well, if the names come out, a lot of them are going to be innocent. It's very convenient, but they'll say a lot of it's going to be smear that really shouldn't happen because a lot of it's false allegations. I don't know. It's just a mess. Trump loves hot blondes. Bondi is staying. I don't know. I mean, that's the. We'll see. I think it's between Bongino and Bondi, or maybe there's an internal discussion to where they can work it out. I'm not sure how much of a how dug in Bongino is on the situation with Bondi. It's not a good look for anyone right now within the FBI. What's been happening the past week or so? See the Liz Wheeler Megyn Kelly interview about what happened in detail. Phase one Epstein binder release. Very interesting. No, I mean, I think I saw a very slight clip from it. Let me see if I can remember. Basically, Liz Wheeler was one of the people that held up with, and did the whole, and she was trying to like defend herself, and she said, well, they didn't let us see it because Keir Starmer was coming or something, and so they were pushed outside, and then they held it up before looking at it. But that's the only part that I saw from it. Having watched sports a decade, it's all fixed, dude. That's a low IQ take, saying it's all fixed. I mean, it's this the chances of it being fixed. I mean, maybe certain players fix their props, but it seems very hard for it to be completely fixed. Maybe certain games are. Thoughts on college football 26? It looks better than the previous one. The 25 was terrible. At least I thought it was very bland and just didn't have many features. This 26 looks a little bit better. I'm not sure if I'll get it though. I might not get it. Would you believe the Epstein list if they released it tomorrow? Well, I don't think anyone would really believe it. But I mean, it depends. There was a good argument somebody was making, if the Epstein list comes out, there better be big names on it, because if there's not, people will just assume, based on how bad they've botched this, that they're hiding the big names and they're just releasing something as appeasement. So I think no matter what they do now, there's always going to be a smear and questioning of the administration because of how they've handled it in the past months, with the first phase one, with what Bondi said, and them saying it doesn't exist now. And it's also been, I mean, I don't know, like, it's crazy. You would think that it's just so obvious. It's also been confirmed, apparently, that they did manipulate the security camera footage. I mean, if that's true, come on. This is like the most. I mean, even releasing that. The other problem that we have is that Bongino said that the security footage, he's like, oh, it's conclusive. We have it all. And you look at it, it's not even close to conclusive. Patel, Bongino, Bondi have to go. A disgrace. They're not all going to go. They're not all going to go. How do you feel about Nick Fuentes? I mean, I agree with some of the stuff that he says. I feel like he tries to counter signal anyone that is in agreement with him. What if it's literally just a list of names? Then what? How do you determine what it means as far as crime or no crime? A lot of people have been public about being on the list. Yeah, I wonder if it wouldn't necessarily be a list they would release, but just specific people maybe involved, maybe photos on the island of certain people. I mean, that just shows that they were there. I mean, there's nothing left. But I mean, you could look at the flight logs, and Trump's on the flight logs, but he's not on the flights to the island. And pretty much everyone has denied going to the island. But the pilots who flew to the island have confirmed people. And then the people just say, well, the pilots are lying. Well, why would they lie? That doesn't make any sense. Brian, I appreciate it. Thank you. Why does someone ask about Nick Fuentes on every stream of yours? I don't know. I've got some people that watch some people that watch me that watch him, I think. Top 3 attributes you look for in a girlfriend. I mean, I prefer a girl that's like 5'2" to 5'5". Although I don't think it's too bad, but I want the girl to be shorter. In decent shape. You got to be in decent shape. I got to be attracted to you. I mean, with the guys and with women in general, but I got to be attracted. But also another quality, little political knowledge. I don't want a girl that knows a lot about politics, or it just doesn't care about politics. That's preferable. Best of the Trump administration: Pete, Marco, JD. Well, I mean, Hegseth had a few issues, but yeah, Hegseth, they performed that that Iran B-2 strike impressively. Rubio is going around doing everything, and then Vance has been kind of quiet, I think, the past few weeks, but Vance definitely is a very good communicator. Thoughts on the list possibly destabilizing the world, right? And that's another thing. It depends how many people were on it, and we can pretty much we know that people in relation, not, I'm not saying Trump's family, but in relation, like, that were friends of Trump, that definitely probably are on that list, because Trump has made mention multiple times saying that, well, people are on that list that are actually not guilty, and I think it would destroy a lot of lives. And so he's talked about that. Epstein's lawyer has talked about that, certain people being on the list that are not guilty, but if the list gets out, I mean, Epstein's lawyer said, yes, the list exists. Now, take that for what you will, and he just said that in an interview. If no list, why is who Maxwell? They should interview her. They really should just interview her and see. I mean, well, technically, I think she wasn't arrested for. She was arrested for giving them to Epstein, courting them to Epstein. But so that's why I think she's in jail. Have you seen the shit happening in Ireland? Is that what you're asking? Ireland's got some pretty based laws, honestly. I mean, I know they've gotten a lot of, it's like any European country, they've gotten a lot of immigration from third world. It's not good. I saw Ireland had a massive rally in Dublin probably like 2 or 3 months ago. The huge rally, and it was a nationalist type rally. It was good to see. Megan Kelly thinks Bondi can be explained by Bondi simply wanting to be on Fox News and create hype over things. And there might be some jealousy if that's really the reason. It feels like Bondi is just kind of a. I can't really get a read on Bondi. She just seems like a nothing burger. It doesn't seem like she really has any. To do that job, you almost have to have a huge ego. I don't know if she has the hunger for it. Dan was good on radio. No idea yeah, I think he is realizing it. He's getting horrible. He's obviously getting criticized in horrible press, and yeah, he had that great Rumble gig. I mean, he was the number one, and so to see him lose that and then have this type of publicity is very bad for him. No, you're not banned. You're not banned, man. You're not banned. Bondi seems very fake when she speaks. Yeah, I agree. I don't see it. I don't see the passion to do the job with Bondi. It seems very robotic. Yeah, very robotic. But I mean, are we going to do this thing where we try and excuse this away, and maybe they somebody's going to be the fall person for this, the fall guy. It's I think it's going to be Bondi. The MAGA people want it to be Bondi. Would you date Trump's press secretary? She's hot. Yeah, she's dating like a 60-year-old. I mean, is your cat on the list? Now my cat is. He got his name scrubbed off the list. He knows people. Thoughts on Trump in Texas? Oh yes, the floods. I did see that. Yeah, he'll visit disaster areas. People ask if they're banned, like I can read every comment. They think if I don't read like two of their comments when then they're just like they're banned. Kirk did a conservative rally today. Was he going against liberal college kids? Do you think we get more involved with the Ukraine war now? Well, it depends what you mean by involved. There's going to be, I think, pretty big sanctions. I'm going to have to look up what the exact sanctions are. Trump's going to have to pull something out with these sanctions if he really wants it to go anywhere. But if you watch my video earlier, I described how it was different. In terms of the weaponry that we're sending. It's being paid by NATO, so it's being paid by a lot of the European countries. A lot of this weaponry that we're giving to Ukraine, it goes through the NATO European countries, and they're footing the bill for a lot of it. So it's a little bit different than what the liberals did, and you know now we've got these NATO countries paying 5%, so they're gonna have stronger militaries. It's gonna be better for everyone. They're gonna stop relying on the United States, and it's a healthier relationship. Is Hitler on the flight logs? Well, not those flight logs. The flight logs to Argentina. Actually, the U-boat to Argentina. No, I'm kidding. I did a video on that. Good entry on NASDAQ. It's impossible to say, man. I mean, people are expecting one more pullback for the alts just because the dominance hasn't supposedly peaked. I don't know. Because what's the BTC dominance? 62, 63. People say it needs to go higher because in 2021 it went higher. But I mean, the BT. I mean, with these altcoins when they start running like this, it's very hard to. I mean, wait for a pullback maybe, but I don't know what the pullback would be exactly. Did you read the DOJ OIG report about Epstein's death in their memo? Probably not. JG, thank you for that. Do you think it's literally impossible for Trump admin to divulge on Epstein due to threats to them, family, etc.? Well, I think it might be a situation where there's so many people involved, you risk damaging the country, and you risk damaging. I mean, you got 4 years. Think about it. If this comes out and there's all these witch hunts and they try and get all these people, you're disrupting a lot of things. You're disrupting trust within the current administration. So there's a lot that has to come into it. And there also might be threats as well. There also might be threats. There's also the components of, well, Trump might be holding the list over people's heads. I mean, I'm not sure if it's that. That's kind of more of a charitable take to Trump, but BTC to 200K, that's very bullish if it's 200K. I mean, it's certainly possible BTC could go to 200K this cycle. I think it's a bullish. I think 150 to 180 maybe. Mecha Hitler, Nasdaq 420, DeepSeek R2, Shib. There's no way you're in Shiba. You know, you got to be a boomer. You're in Shiba. You're in Shiba, the one that's at like 4 billion. Such a small percent of Americans care about the stupid list. Trump knows it. I don't know, man. I don't know if that's true, honestly. I mean, I've seen some polls to where the approval has gone down. Now, whether that's just people being bitter and they'll forget about it in a week, people have very short attention spans. That might be it, honestly. But this is a bigger issue, and I think they know they're going to have to try and resolve it in some way. I think the resolution is probably Bondi's the fall guy, and then they release something. But nobody's really going to buy it, but you have to do something. Trippy, thank you for that. Didn't Senator Graham just have a sanction bill against countries supporting Russia? I mean, I'm sure he's been heavily against Russia, obviously. So he's got to be happy with what Trump's doing. Trump's temperament now is just extremely pro-Ukraine. Dude, I don't know what is this clip with Charlie Kirk that's so important? I mean, it's like, did he debate someone? Can't even freaking type.
So what's it going to be, Charlie Kirk?
Can we pan to the audience? I'm curious.
Pasobic.
How many of you raise your hand think this is a big deal, the Epstein thing? Would you raise your hand? So, I mean, every hand has gone up.
These kids are like 10.
So what's it going to be?
Who's the goat? Ginger? Conan O'Brien. No, I don't know. We don't really have many people. It seems to me that Trump is so disconnected on the issue with Epstein. Will he actually fire Bondi? Yeah, honestly, I don't know. I mean, unless somebody gets in his ear and tells him you must and convinces him, he seems to like Bondi a lot, and so that's another interesting thing to component to look at. Yeah, this is sarcasm. This comment says, "I don't see how anyone could question our daddy Trump. I invited him into my heart, and now I'm free. Screw the mean people that and that terrible list. It's been so long." I actually don't think that's. I don't think that's sarcasm. Look, Trump is. We like Trump, but maybe not the daddy. Is that Pam Bondi's burner account? I don't know what's gonna happen. I mean, you've got stuff coming out now. Megyn Kelly getting angry. Remember this? Remember this? What just came out with Jerome Powell reportedly considering resigning. I don't think this is real. I think this is Trump people planting this story to try and pressure Powell. I think Powell will come out and deny this. Maybe I'll be wrong. We'll see. Nice to see Trump tough on Russia. Well, I mean, it's definitely it's definitely he's trying to end the war, and in a way, you kind of have to do that. I know the base is probably not going to be too happy about what he's doing with that, but he can kind of explain it away because of the way that the weapons are being sold to NATO. Copper Cab, yeah, that dude. That dude. Hopefully that dude's having a nice life. I remember that dude. I mean, that's really why we would get dragged on the internet because of him. We get made fun of. You made a funny moments compilation from your 2024 cycle videos. Was curious if it got recommended to you, DG. Not sure if I should make a part 2. It didn't get recommended to me, but to be honest, I really don't. Sometimes I'll get recommended my own videos, but I normally don't really get recommended my own videos because I don't really watch them. Not because I don't like myself, but I think a lot of YouTubers don't watch themselves much. But dude, it's kind of bullshit that they did. If you made one, I appreciate that you for making that. Thank you for making that. You hate Senator Graham, says one thing, does another. Well, he's a rhino. Nothing more, nothing less. Your work ethic is inspiring. He's like, look at what we just did. Just renames and just Gulf of America. And then McGregor's like, oh my god. There's no way. Juan, thank you. What's up, man? You're hammered? You're drunk? Look at it this way, immigration wasn't this bad 10 years ago. Mexicans are not to blame, but Biden himself. Well, I mean, it is absolutely, it's Biden to blame. It's the Democrats. You have to secure the border and then not allow them to come in. So that's why we do blame Biden, but now they're in, so now we have to get them out. Trump over the cover up, even if he ain't on the list. Yeah, I just wonder how powerless Trump is in all of this. But it's like, it's just an interesting component. Like, I wonder how much power Trump actually has. You would think, being the president, he's got, his power usurps everyone, but I don't know. Is this is a different component with this list and this who's involved and Jerome Powell a gooner. Think it's a little bit late in life for Jerome to be doing that. Bongino should quit and do an interview tour. Yeah, well, that I mean, but what would he just be bad mouthing Bondi the entire time? We need something to happen, I think. Whether it's Bongino or Bondi, but I feel like if it's Bongino, it's going to make their administration look worse. A lot of people like Bongino. I mean, it depends what he says after, of course. I'm sure he'll keep it professional. Have you seen the F1 movie? No, I haven't seen it. I heard it was good, though. People were telling me it was good. Turn your captions on. I think the captions should... Are the captions for the stream not on, maybe? The captions should be on, I think. You just have to turn them on yourself if you click on the CC button in the corner. Israel was involved in Epstein. Bongino talk about it. Yeah, Bongino talked about it on Tim Pool. I remember that. More of an old school Republican before MAGA. Well, before MAGA, it was a heavy neocon. But I know what you're saying. You know, MAGA, there's some flair to it. There's some more nuance with MAGA. Superman movie was actually really good. Yeah, I've heard mixed reviews. Did you see the Ben Shapiro clip? Or the Ben Shapiro picture? He's like right up against the poster. He's like, it's bad. The Ben Shapiro picture. He's like, I'll have a review for it. And I feel like he just goes to these movies and just says they're all terrible just so he can... Like, look at this. Oh, man. Was it woke? The dude is trying too hard. Depressed gooner. Oh, man. Will Trump pardon Ghislaine Maxwell? What if Trump's like, that's my next order. I have to do it because we just ruled. No, but it was just involving Epstein. They got her on a lot of stuff just involving Epstein. Yeah, did you hear about this? I might have to do a video on this, maybe. Or really, I could do a video on a lot of stuff tomorrow because of all this drama, but you have this, we've got a budget surplus in the month of June. Now, we routinely have budget surpluses in certain months because of the timing of, like in April, we get all the revenue from taxes. But for it to be June, it's very peculiar for us to get a budget surplus. Now, some of that they say is based off of timing on when we're paying when the government is paying certain things. So I think they kind of manipulated it, and people are eating it alive. But no, we also, I mean, we've been making way more money in tariffs. I mean, what did we make? 27 billion in June in tariffs. You're glad this is all being hashed out now? Yeah, no, absolutely. And people have to understand when they talk about the midterms, they're so far away. Nobody's going to remember. I mean, it depends. If this is left off like this, then yeah, people are going to say it's real. But even like the Democrat versus Republican, this is a uniparty thing. The Democrats were sweeping this under the rug just as much as the Republicans were. So I don't really see how now you can say, well, Trump promised it, and that's the reason why we're angry. Okay, I guess I can understand that a little bit, but I don't even think this is like Democrats have all this leverage over Republicans in midterms on this topic. I don't see how they have it. Trump is sending 300 million. You mean $300 million to Ukraine? That would be paid for by NATO. It's paid for mainly by the European countries, I believe. But even if he sends it, we have a deal with them, a mineral deal, to where we get the money back. What's with the Charlie Kirk glazing in the comments? They're not glazing him. They want to see a certain clip that I guess I haven't shown yet. And so these people fixate on it and it becomes this huge thing. Let me see if I can find it. And then you shut them up and then they go on to the next thing. I thought I had shown it. I mean, which one is it? Is it this one?
Reporting is Bongino. It's Bongino or Bondi. He's not.
Who
saying,
would you guys prefer, Bongino or Bondi? Okay, 7,000 to 0.
They want Dan. Of course, Dan. You know why? Because Dan understands MAGA. Dan's part of the MAGA movement. Dan's been an important piece of it and a mouthpiece for like really important ideas and an advocate and a fierce warrior. He's been in the trenches. I mean, with all due respect to Pam Bondi, she's been in Florida. She represented the president. It's nice. But do you think she really gets MAGA? I don't think so. She wouldn't have behaved this way if she did. And now it's a time for choosing. It's a time for choosing.
Yeah, she is right on that. Bondi is really not fit into the whole MAGA thing. And Bongino has the past. He already has a fan base, Bongino, with his Rumble show. That was huge. So the crowd is going to side, and then the Republican, the MAGA base is going to side with Bongino. Now, what does that mean for Trump? I mean, I think Trump is pretty tone deaf on a lot of like the base, and it doesn't seem like he cares too much right now. Maybe there'll be some advisors that get in his ear. I don't know if they'll be able to really change his mind. Maybe he will say it's for the best that she goes, and that's what it is. Someone's going to have to ask him, and we'll see. Trump playing 4D chess with the Epstein drama to take attention away from Elon's third party, LOL JK. Chris, I appreciate it. The problem is, this helps Elon because this really is a uniparty thing. Now, it's bad timing for him because you'd much rather this come out like right before the midterms, but this would be good for Elon because it's the uniparty at work and it's one of their big arguments. And so Elon can say, we're going to release everything. But I don't even know what Elon's talking about. He's like, we're going to release it. When is Elon Musk going to get in power? Like, I'm not sure. He's just saying it to get engagement. From Germany, you are great. Have been following since month before the election. You are one of the best ones concerning politics. Wow, I appreciate that from Germany. How is Germany? How liberal is Germany? What does Germany think about Trump? I had a boss that was German, had German heritage, and he talked about the history a lot. Let's just say that. The whale enters with $100. Sean, I appreciate it. The whale. Have you seen Kristi Noem before and after plastic surgery? No, I haven't. Plastic surgery for women, it normally doesn't turn out well. Well, I guess the ones you can't tell, it turns out well, but the ones that you can tell, it's real bad. Thoughts on midterms for Republicans? I think the Senate should be fine. It could be a little bit choppy. I think at the worst case, it's 51-49, and that would be bad. But it's still an advantage in the Senate. The House, they're going to try and redistrict. Maybe it'll give them an advantage of an extra 5 or 6 seats. They need every advantage they can get in the House. I believe Republicans right now are trying to heavily gerrymander Ohio and Texas. And so if they're able to do that, I mean, both parties do gerrymander. Republicans do, I believe, gerrymander more than Democrats, but they both do it. And it's whatever. I mean, that's just how it works. If it ends up, if they're able to change the districts, I think they should be able to take the House narrowly. Either way, the House seems to be 50-50 at this point. Mm-hmm. 14,500 deportations per month, which adds to 74,000 per year, just under 7. Yeah, I mean, bro, you're just reposting Fuentes' tweets. I saw it the first time. Megyn Kelly has been in MAGA a hell of a lot longer than Bondi. Well, you could argue it's a cat fight, maybe but no, I don't think it's like that. I think people just like Bongino more. People, I don't think this is she's jealous or anything like that. I think people just like Bongino more, and Kelly knows that, and she knows where her base is, and who would the Democrats vote for at this point? They're way worse than the Republicans were. They'd vote for anyone. I mean, they're a major party. They'd vote for anyone, but it doesn't really matter who the core Democrats vote for. They're going to vote for any Democrat they put up. It's about the independent people and whether or not they can turn enough of regular Americans. It's interesting because Republicans had such a huge advantage on the border just when it came to illegal immigration. You wonder if that potentially will change, which it shouldn't, but this is kind of how the American public think. If the border gets solved, yeah, we can praise Trump for it, but then that's not a big issue. So then it's not like Republicans can say, well, we need to be in office because of the border. So you wonder about certain things like that. Interstellar. I might have to watch Interstellar. Watch one of these great movies again, Interstellar or Prometheus. Either one is just amazing, both, and you get you get enthralled with the movie. I mean, it's beautiful. What's going on between Bondi and Dan? Bongino is blaming Bondi for this botched situation. It's kind of an ultimatum. It's either Bongino is going to leave if Bondi doesn't. So if Bondi stays, which it's reporting she wants to stay, Bongino is going to leave. And I think Bongino is really having a hard time coping with his reputation being dragged through the mud because of this situation. If that's why he would want to leave. Yeah, I know. It's an underrated movie, Prometheus. It really is. People don't realize. They should have made another alien movie. With Ridley Scott, I'm talking about. They didn't do it. They made Covenant and then they stopped. How's your last movie in 2017? We're dying here. We don't want Romulus. Yeah, we'll take a look, see if Eric has anything. Haven't looked on here. I already saw that clip. I blame Pam Bondi. Yeah, but we're not watching a fucking episode of this. We're not watching a 5-minute clip.
Tuesday.
Nothing's going on. Has anyone been on X in the past hour?
They're happy. That's why they haven't been on social media.
We'll update you.
Why don't you update them, Megyn?
Well, this is the first big scandal, I'd say, of the Trump administration that's on Team Rational. It's not a fake media scandal like the left tries to create for President Trump every other day. It's one of the right's own making, and it's not going well. And it has to do with Jeffrey Epstein.
Is Laura Loomer good? I think she's annoying. Thank you for the donation. Bondi's been horrible, but these influencers are scapegoating her so they don't have to criticize Trump. You're curious what these people are going to say when she's fired and we still don't get the list. No, you are right. That's what they're doing. This is why I said this is what I think they're going to do. They scapegoat Bondi. Then they're forced to produce something from the list. They produce something and then they say, well, we put something out. And it was Bondi. She was the problem. She was holding everything up. Which obviously can't be the truth. I mean, Bondi is not the one deciding this. Whether or not there's situations that happened with Bondi to where, obviously, it seems like Bongino thinks Bondi made the entire apparatus look very, very bad because of what she said 2 months ago or 3 months ago, like blatantly lying. If it's not a lie, it's a cover-up, or it's both. But is Bondi really the one deciding and doing all this? I mean, it's higher than her. It's higher than her. So they can scapegoat Bondi, but I think what they're going to do is they're going to produce something, whether it ends up being a lot or just a little. They're going to have to give some type of breadcrumb to the base so the base can justify Bondi being the issue. If that's what ends up happening, we don't even know if that's what's going to happen. But that would be my take.
Yeah. Let me just ask you, make some noise if you care about the Jeffrey Epstein scandal.
Raise your hand if it matters a lot to you. Raise your hand.
Is this a convention or something?
So every hand of 7,000 people.
Everybody cares. I think
A lot. I said a lot.
Republican National Convention?
Every hand.
Here's what I think is happening. I don't think President Trump is focused on this. He's focused on a lot of other things which are going great, and he needs to be focused on those other things. Jeffrey Epstein's not the most important thing on his agenda by any stretch of the imagination. I mean, he's crushing it on the tariffs, foreign policy, just got nominated for the Nobel Peace Prize. If not Trump, then who? Honestly. Barack Obama got the Nobel Peace Prize after 9 months in office. He had done nothing. He gave a nice speech about Muslims, and they gave it to him. So President Trump should be getting the Nobel Peace Prize, and there's all sorts of things he's focused on. I just don't think this has captured his attention quite yet. But it needs to, because it's starting to create a real hornet's nest within the administration. And I've got to be honest, I blame Pam Bondi. I'll tell you why, okay?
Yeah, she's going to talk about the hyped up expectations and then not delivering anything, but you say Superman was dog shit. I heard it was lackluster, but then somebody in the chat said it was good. Yeah, I heard it was lackluster, but, you know, it's not surprising. I'm not a big fan of Superman, just the movies in general. I like the Spider-Man movies. I like the Batman movies. Really, I like the Dark Knight and the Dark Knight Rises. And the Spider-Man movies, they're entertaining. They are entertaining, although I don't think I've seen the most recent one.
I have nothing, yes, incompetence, yes. I have nothing against Pam Bondi as a human being. I was fine with her nomination and her confirmation, and she's been loyal to the president, and I get that President Trump needs a loyal attorney general. Look what happened with Sessions the first time. He went away, and then the next thing you know, we had the Mueller investigation, and it was a nightmare. But there are a lot of other people who can be loyal and competent in that job. Here, she is the reason that things are unraveling around this story right now that virtually all of the Republican Party cares deeply about.
But honestly, the thing with Bondi is you can say that, well, she hyped up expectations and lied. But even if she didn't say that, if they had said that, I mean, with what they released, it was completely unsatisfactory. Even if she didn't say anything and they said, oh, he killed himself and there was no blackmail, people would still be very dissatisfied and think they're lying. Like, her whole thesis is based off of Bondi, you know, butchering it by not really, or by lying and saying she had the list on her desk. That's what everyone keeps talking about. Trump loves a blonde. All of Trump's female secretaries are blonde. Pam won't get fired. Well, I mean, you'd hope he would kind of move past that, especially if the base is really against it. I mean, we'll have to see, though. He does have a pattern. Sean, thank you for that. You're going to watch Twisted Metal series. Season 2 comes out at the end of July. No, I've never seen that show. Is the Bannon clip on here? Patel and Bongino threatening to resign if Bondi doesn't resign. Michael, I appreciate it. Heard a rumor that Pam Bondi was one of Epstein's girls and owes her career to him. Well, that would certainly be the twist. That would certainly be the twist.
Beautiful young ladies. They gave me this special bracelet from the camp in honor of all of the little girls that they lost their lives. So we are here to honor them and also to give the support, help, and I will be back. I promise to them, and I just pray for them and giving them my strength and love.
Do you guys really think a new attorney general would do something different? Well, it's not necessarily that they would do something different. You have to blame, somebody has to be a scapegoat here, so you can kind of you can kind of manipulate the story. So they can scapegoat someone and then the base will be more happy. You know, they want somebody scapegoated, basically, I think, and it would be a better look for their administration to get somebody out and say, see, we did something and there was a problem. I think they would probably release something, and it's a placation to the base. They're trying to placate to the base. If that even is what happens. I mean, I don't know. I know Trump does seem like he likes, you know, it's been rumored Trump really likes Bondi. He's got the affinity for blondes. I mean, I don't know if that's going to keep her, but Mecha Hitler go to 10 million. That's old news, man. You got to get your money out of that. Get your money into some actual meme coins that have staying power. You've been playing around on Solana too much. You've been playing around on Solana. Will you admit Trump's tariff policy is stupid? Brazil has a trade deficit with the U.S. They import. Brazil has a surplus with us, I believe. Brazil has a surplus with us. But we're not going to do the thing with tariffs again. Number one, okay, so you don't understand. You know, Trump has a deadline on the tariffs. The tariffs are not even in place yet. They're in place August 1st. So technically, your outrage is null until they actually go into effect, because this is what Trump always does. It's a pressure tactic to get a better deal with Brazil. We're probably not going to tariff Brazil at 50%. It's going to be lower once we work out some type of deal before August 1st. That's what's going to happen. But also Brazil, we trade with them very rarely. You know, our trade with them is it's about 2% of total trade. Now, yeah, it could certainly affect certain sectors with a 50% tariff, I agree. But I don't think it's going to be a 50% tariff on August 1st. I think Trump wants a better deal. And Trump has had issues dealing with that socialist government in Brazil. People have been telling me. Tucker just said R. Does that stand for right now? RN? Is that actually an abbreviation for right now? That Epstein was working for Israel in front of a huge crowd. Where's Tucker Carlson at? Tariffs would be a good if Trump actually followed through with them. Well, I think Trump's tariffs policy has been flawless. You have to understand, at a certain point, they are inflationary. And the problem with the ironclad tariffs is if he did do ironclad tariffs, they were at a certain, I mean, we could survive it, but it would destroy the economy for 2 or 3 years. It would be an immediate recession, and it would be a prolonged recession. Now, some people would argue, well, we should have to go through that because we're too dependent on other countries. But as an administration, you cannot deal with that. You have 4 years. You really have 2 years or even less than that before the midterms happen. And if you have this crazy tariff thing where the economy is getting crushed, you're going to guaranteed lose the midterms, and you're going to lose a lot of political power. It's not that simple to where you can just throw all these tariffs on everyone and keep them on at 100% because you want all manufacturing back in the U.S. It has to be done in a certain way in which Trump is doing it. It's really experimental, and the ones that work stay on. The ones that don't get brought down. Can you explain what's going on in your title? What is the title about Bongino? So this is what's going on. Bongino is getting, and really the entire bureau, they're getting crushed right now. Bongino's reputation is getting hit. He's feeling pressure. They're blaming Bondi. They're trying to scapegoat her. Bongino and Patel have basically given an ultimatum that they will step down if Bondi remains the AG. Bondi does not want to step down. She says they're doing a great job. They're trying to pressure Bondi out and make Bondi the scapegoat, and now Megyn Kelly and all these other people are doing it as well. Yeah, this Bannon clip, it better be like the fucking... I mean, this is like... I highly doubt Powell is considering resigning. I think it's fake.
Not acceptable. And I think the real answer is Jeffrey Epstein was working on behalf of intel services, probably not American. And we have every right to ask, on whose behalf was he working? How does a guy go from being a math teacher at the Dalton School in the late 70s with no college degree to having multiple airplanes, a private island, and the largest residential house in Manhattan? Where did all the money come from? And no one has ever gotten to the bottom of that because no one has ever tried. And moreover, it's extremely obvious to anyone who watches that this guy had direct connections to a foreign government. Now, no one's allowed to say that that foreign government is Israel because we have been somehow cowed into thinking that that's naughty. There is nothing wrong with saying that. There is nothing hateful about saying that. There's nothing anti-Semitic about saying that. There's nothing even anti-Israel about saying that. I've spent my entire life pretty much in Washington, where I knew and loved a number of people, including one very close person who worked at CIA. That has never prohibited me from saying, I think the CIA has done some horrible things, murdered a bunch of people, participated in the murder of a sitting U.S. president. It's got a whole trail of crimes. That doesn't make me a disloyal American. It doesn't make me anti-American in any sense. I was born here. My family's been here for hundreds of years. I love this country. That's why I live here. So criticizing the behavior of a government agency does not make you a hater. It makes you a free person. It makes you a citizen. You're allowed to do that because you're not a slave. You're a citizen. And you have a right to expect that your government will not act against your interests, and you have a right to demand that foreign governments not be allowed to act against your interests. That's not creepy. It shouldn't be forbidden. And yet all of us have trained ourselves to believe that you can't say that somehow, that that's like too naughty and forbidden. And the effect of making that off limits has been to create a lot of resentment, and I'll say it, hate online, where people feel like they can't just say, like, what the hell is this? You have the former Israeli prime minister living in your house. You have had all this contact with the foreign government. Were you working on behalf of Mossad? Were you running a blackmail operation on behalf of a foreign government? By the way, every single person in Washington, D.C. thinks that. I've never met anyone who doesn't think that. I don't know any of them that hate Israel, but no one feels they can say that. Why? And I think the longer that we play along with it...
Right. I mean, it's you know, the cat's out of the bag with it at this point. Do you think Netanyahu nominated Trump for a Nobel Peace Prize in exchange for burying Epstein? I think that's political theater, nominating Trump for Nobel Peace Prize. That's just, you know, him trying to have good relations with Trump. I think that doesn't, a nomination for Nobel Peace Prize it's not going to be able to bury something like the Epstein files, I don't think. Does Steve Bannon launches his 2028 presidential campaign? No, I'm just kidding. OIG report, page 58 through 60. Epstein was allowed to make 21-minute unmonitored phone call on August 9th, 2019. Will signed the day before he died. The next day claimed called mom, but she died in 2004. Was made in Belarus. Yeah, that's interesting. Epstein allowed to make a 21-minute unmonitored phone call on the 9th. I'll have to look into that, man. That's good information. Thank you. Your friend missed his appointment for a 17th COVID booster. Do you think he'll be okay? Yeah, they're on 17 now, huh? They're on number 17. When did they stop those? I wonder if I think people still get them every year. You know, the old people are very susceptible to COVID. They've got weaker immune systems, but you know, with the younger people, that was all nonsense, obviously. Or most of it was nonsense, at least. But I appreciate that. Mike, I appreciate it. Why do people simp for Caroline Leavitt? You mean with her body, she's going to be like Sarah Sanders by mid to late 30s? Yeah, she looks older for sure. I mean, she's still attractive. She's attractive, I would say. You know, the makeup certainly helps and everything like that. But people, they'll simp for anyone. I mean, you bring up AOC once, it's like it's a goon session in the chat. And so it's like always happens.
Okay, you're gonna hate me for this, but why did Elon Musk tweet that you were on that list?
Do what? I'm not going to hate you for that. Because you know why?
Don't kill the messenger.
No,
I'm just
I'm not.
asking
It's a
why.
great question. It's a great question. Because I'm the guy, one of my sole focuses in life is the total and complete destruction of Elon Musk. He's one of the most evil people ever to walk the face of the earth, right? And he's trying to throw out all kind of garbage. Of course it's absurd. Just like it's absurd on President Trump. You saw how evil it was. President Trump brought him into his family. I've never seen President Trump have somebody for Christmas dinner. He had the family there. He let Elon come up with the little boy X, have a photo. He took it in there. And what did he say when he couldn't get his way on the tax cuts for environmental? He went there, and then he said, Trump's in the Epstein file. That's what kind of guy he is. He will smear Trump, he'll smear me, he'll smear anybody who stands in the way. And I'm the one person that stood up to this guy when everybody around kissed his ass, okay?
Yeah, I agree with that. Maybe if she talked like a human being. What was she? I don't even know what she was saying.
Guy like Elon Musk is not just deeply flawed, he's pure evil, and Musk understands something. I am 100% focused on your total and complete destruction.
She's like using the fake voice where women try and be sexy, but it just comes off like nails on a chalkboard.
And bro, we're making real progress, okay? We're making real progress. You know why? Because you're completely and totally evil, and you're an illegal alien. You should be deported back to South Africa immediately.
That's right.
Oh, dude, I gotta talk about that. You see, Rogan had dinner with Trump, trying to convince him to go against mass deportation. Typical coastal lib preaching diversity from his ivory tower. Hope Trump doesn't. Oh, it's terrible. How does Rogan get off thinking he can court Trump into changing his policy? What are you talking about, dude? Rogan really is overestimating his power. Does Rogan understand what the election was about and all of the opinion polls? And we've been through this 100 times. And then, like, because I heard Rogan in the one clip on, on his podcast say that he was doing the whole song and dance about how are you deporting people? They're illegal, but all they're trying to do is work. It's like 2015 all over again, or 2017 all over again, when Trump got in but really didn't have much money for deportations. And now we actually have a mandate, and Rogan's gonna go and it's one thing to say it on your podcast, but to go have dinner with Trump and try and convince Trump to not deport illegal immigrants because all they're trying to do is work. I'm surprised. Maybe I shouldn't be surprised. I'm surprised he had dinner with him, honestly. I mean, I guess that's where Rogan is at in terms of his power and his popularity, but thoughts on a whites only town being built by a group in Arkansas? Yeah, I'm not. I think that type of stuff is very strange. I think organically things like that to where there's a dominant race. I think it's better if it happens organically, through just through people coming together and like I would rather see industry be built up. I would rather see an impressive city, but rather than I mean I don't know what they have going on there, but it seems like some type of homestead. But we'll see what happens with that. Everything is a meme coin. Nuclear apocalypse could be happening. Somebody would be asking for the CIA. That's the problem. There's too many of them. You have to stick to a few. Someone like you go wherever the wind blows. You trade like 30 or 40 of them. You're going to be left with nothing. You make a ton of money in meme coins. You can do it. It's hard, but you have to hold coins. You've got to hold a select number of coins. You can have a trading portfolio, I guess, but you need to hold. That's how you make money. Rogan is the male version of AOC. People think he has way more influence than he does. People like him are attracted to his under. No, I mean, yeah, in talking about his influence. Yeah, I don't know. I mean, he does a podcast. How really influential is that? It's hard to really scale it, but listen. The views that he gets even on YouTube, because I know he has the Spotify thing. His podcasts they still get a ton of views for sure. And it's hard you getting views on YouTube. It's not easy. So he still pulls, I mean, a boatload of views. Rogan does. He's got a loyal fan base, and I mean, he's the #1 podcaster in the world. You give him credit for that. But to go out and try and court Trump at a dinner and tell him to stop mass deportations, I mean, my goodness, man. Why do you think Trump won the election? We're just finally getting over this. But even Trump could say, I have people on my side. What you're saying is not popular. You understand that. You think it's this play to some type of feeling of sadness for these people, but you look at the polls, it's 60% agree with me. It's not even it's not even a question. It's not even like Trump's this big evil guy for deporting all the illegals or trying to deport all the illegals. We're never going to come close to deporting all the illegals. You talk to Rogan, you tell him, well, if there's 25 million illegals in the country and we're these terrible people, we're trying to deport 1 million illegals per year. They let in 2.5 million. So they can let in 2.5 million per year. We can't even deport 1 million without you getting angry. So see how it's all a scam. None of it makes sense. Thoughts on Stephen A. Smith trying to run? I heard he wasn't going to run. I heard he turned it down, apparently. I don't know. It's all bullshit theater with like him and Jon Stewart and some of these other like Cuban is another one. Although people are saying Cuban might actually have a chance within the Democrats. I don't know. Cuban has said he's not going to do it. Now it's Newsom. This is what I can say about the Democrats. For what I've seen, it's Newsom. Believe it or not, AOC, but I think AOC is going to fall off. But it's Newsom, AOC, Buttigieg, and then maybe you can throw Josh Shapiro in there. But to me, out of those four, I think Newsom would be the only viable option. I can't see the other three being viable. Well, maybe Shapiro. But even Shapiro with his ties and him being Jewish and with the situation with Palestine, I don't know. Please throw the Bannon. I mean, I think they're just trolling. They're just trolling. You can't trust Rogan because he'll kiss the ass of UFC and MMA and jiu-jitsu. Yeah, I mean, I just think he's like a classical liberal, I guess, is what it would be. Democrats will never allow a Jewish person who served in the Israeli military to be their nominee. They are too anti-Semitic on their left. Well, I mean, you wonder if that's not too much of a hot button. If some type of ceasefire happens, it might not be a hot button issue. But yeah, I don't think it's going to be Shapiro. Spam or inciting violence or excessive adult content should be the only reason. Well, I mean, what is that, dude? You can't do a wall of emojis, and I don't even know what I mean. What are you trying to make, a swastika? It doesn't even look like it. It's all too much. I'm crying. The Dirty Straw, thank you for the $5 donations. You should do a membership on here for cheap with special DG emoji. How do I add my own emojis on? I have to have somebody make an emoji, we add it. What is it, an emote or whatever? Westmore raised taxes and blamed Trump. It's actually hilarious. Westmore's another one that they're talking about. I don't think Westmore wants to run. He said he doesn't, but he, they're talking about Westmore, but he's just a boring person. I don't think he'd be very good. I mean, you could argue because he's technically less liberal than the others, he could appeal. But Maryland, I mean, he'd need a VP from the Rust Belt probably. Alex Jones losing faith in Trump. Yeah, but I saw Alex was trying to swing it a little bit like it was some type of crazy interdimensional deal. You see what he was trying to say, like it was a deal that Trump had to make to, you got to go watch it. I don't remember what he said, but he was trying to swing it like in a positive light for Trump from what I saw. I mean, he was crying in his car, and that's just what Alex is going to do, but remember, after the Syria strikes, he was bawling. I mean, he couldn't control himself. That was the first term. And then he got over it. Rogan is going to be the peacemaker between Trump and Elon. He's going to have them together on his podcast. I don't think so. Not especially with this new party that Musk is creating. Although, did Musk even file the new party with the FEC? Because the one was fake apparently. But he said I think he's going to do it. I don't know. Trump, I'm sure there's no way Trump is going to like Musk if he actually creates this party. It's just going to undercut some of his vote. So there's no way you would like that. It's one thing to have a meltdown or a crash out and then, let some time pass and then everyone's fine. But you create this party, it's a long-term problem for Trump. Do you think it will be Vance or Rubio? Well, I mean, there is a lot. I'm hearing a lot more people say Rubio, but I think it's going to be Vance still. I just can't see Vance. It depends who Trump endorses. Trump is the party still. Now, this is a little hiccup for Trump for sure, but, whoever Trump endorses, I think is the heavy favorite. So Vance or Rubio or whoever it ends up being. But, those are the two right now that people are talking about would be the only main options just as the party is setting up for 2028. Hop on COD. Dude, I don't even play. I don't have Black Ops 6. That's the one, Black Ops 6 now. I don't even have it. The last COD I even got, dude, I don't even remember. The last COD I got was BO3 or something. Will Pence be the candidate for the America Party? It'll be Cuban. It'll be Cuban and the Yang Gang. Hop on Black Ops 1. Yeah, I haven't been on as much recently. I like to go on BO1 Zombies. I've been playing some solo BO1 Zombies. Play some Shinonuma. Shinonuma BO1. Shinonuma's a great map. It's an underrated map. It's a fun map. BO2 Modern Warfare. Now, I'm not a big fan of Modern Warfare. But I mean, I don't like the multiplayers very much. But listen, I honestly, dude, I had like the thing with multiplayer, you know, the Sledgehammer 2017 World War II game, I had like a 1.5 KD. I was actually good at it, like the multiplayer. I don't know why. I just liked, you know, they had the PPSH, that was the meta for the subs, and then the bar. I just liked the way the game flowed on that 2017 Sledgehammer game. Even though a lot of people didn't like it, I was just good at it. It was just typical boots on the ground. I mean, if they made a game like that, I'd probably be pretty good at the multiplayer. Ascension. Ascension's a fun map. It's an easy map though, Ascension. Yeah, I don't know what you're posting, man. It is getting annoying. Posting a bunch of emojis. Israel saying some uranium survived the strikes. Well, of course some uranium survived it. You know, I guess the question would be, do they have the ability to, at this point, make a nuclear weapon? You know, but Israel, they want more than what Trump has done. And I think it's important for Trump to hopefully not give in to that. You can't have much faith in that, but hopefully that's what happens. I mean, Trump really has a good situation going on with the Iran stuff and what Trump did. And you know, the hope is that, you know, they keep trying to like smear Trump and say he went to war. It's just completely horseshit. Trump went to war by, I mean, it was a day. It was like a fucking, it was a bombing mission. Like, this fear mongering about the U.S. being involved in a war is just, it's not going to land with anyone because it's ridiculous. You know, the context of that Israel-Iran situation. Your portfolio was up 4%. Yeah, that's like a boomer celebration. Your portfolio goes up 4%. 4%? I mean, that's crazy, man. You're flexing 4%. Trump has become the swamp, same as Biden and the rest of them. There's nothing more swamp than the Epstein cover-up. Well, I think you have to understand, when you get in, it becomes very complicated. And everything you do is going to have severe consequences, and there's a lot of people that talk to you when you get in, and you know, it's not this lovey-dovey thing. You get in and then you're Superman and you're able to do all of this stuff and declassify everything. You know, if you got in, you'd realize that's not how it works. But I mean, I understand what you're saying. I'm just telling you. %, baby. It's been a week, but people are still launching fireworks. Yeah, you know, we actually haven't had many fireworks recently. Normally they save some for after. We haven't really had any, so I'm pretty happy about that. My dog is happy about that. Do you think they found gold and have decided to go a different route than media release? You sold your mog at 7 million, bought at 700 million, bought at 200 million. Well, you're a trader. You're a trader. You're not. If you're a trader in crypto, prayers. I mean, I guess you can make money, but it's very hard. It's a lot easier to be a trader in the stock market. Depends on the size of the portfolio. Yeah, if you've got a $100 million portfolio, that's up. You're up 4 million then if that's it. If you've got a $10 million portfolio, 400K. Listen, if you've got a $10 million portfolio, I'll give you credit. If I had this is what you do. You make if you've got $10 million, you can portion it, and I would probably put a lot of it in the NASDAQ 100, or I'd have to really, really talk to an advisor, because I've heard some indexes return, a greater rate. But the NASDAQ 100 on average, I think, is like 9-10%. Obviously, some years it's going to be 3%, 17%, but on average, it's like 10%. The S&P is like 8%. So that if the NASDAQ is 10%, but I've heard indexes are higher. I mean, there might be like a riskier play maybe in the AI sector that'll probably do better. But I would probably put a lot of it in like the NASDAQ 100. ChatGPT, what percentage of people who buy meme coins make money? Yeah, but again, like my knowledge of meme coins is probably more than 99% of people. So if only like 10% make money, and my knowledge is bad, because think about all the normies buy these meme coins, they're at hundreds of millions, they have no clue what they're doing. So to say, well, because those people don't make money, nobody makes money on meme coins, that's just not correct. If you know what you're doing, you can make money off meme coins. It's like anything. Yeah, my portfolio is in the trillions. Honestly, I could have had a huge portfolio if a few things had gone right. I mean, I still think I'll have a decent portfolio, but hopefully the coins catch on. The coins have to catch on for me. Never buy the index excluding Tesla. You're probably up 15% or so. Tesla. Well, what's the number one index to buy in terms of returns? I mean, I guess it's just managing risk, your risk tolerance. You could buy a riskier one. If MOG dips back below to 500, you'll buy. MOG is not a trading fucking coin, dude. I mean, the coin's really high in market cap. To get a 2x off of it, you need it to go up like 500 million. It's not an optimal trading coin. I'll give you a hit. It's more than 90% of people. Well, I mean, that's fine if it's 99%. Listen, a lot of people they don't know what they're doing. That's the vast majority of everyone. SPY, SPY. SPY is the best index. Don't buy indexes unless you're. Yeah, but the thing is, you have to understand, if you have a certain amount of money, it's way easier to just buy indexes. Like, if you have a ton of money, it's better to buy indexes. If you have to, if the idea is to just hedge against inflation, buying indexes is easier than worrying about trying to hit on a hot new AI play or whatever. It depends how much money you have. If you don't have a lot of money, I agree, you shouldn't buy indexes. But with me, dude, I have no money in the stock market right now. Because the thing is I want to. You got to make a lot of money to do that. You're not going to make a lot of money through indexes, but you can make a lot of money through crypto, and then you transition to putting it into stocks. You predict a mass influx of Gen Zers become gold and silver fans? I doubt it. They would just go to Bitcoin. I don't think so. You were up 50% last year. You doubt anyone here can make that and cash out of it. Dude, that 50%, you're joking. You know, NASDAQ 420 has, it's done like a 7x in 3 days, bro. I mean, a 7x is 700%. You're talking about 50%. Spy over the long term, and if you want lower risk than crypto. Yeah, no, it's just basically money extraction. If you have a fuck ton of money, even if you're only getting an 8%, 10% return rate, if it's like $10 million you're putting in, you're making $1 million per year. It's just money extraction. Dude, I showed the Bannon clips, man. Like, the thing is, I've shown them. I mean, what do you want? $7x on a $50 and gets... What do you mean 7x on a $50? What do you mean 7x on $50? You think you know there's a lot more invested than that, I'll tell you that much. Bitcoin is definitely the younger generation. Yeah, I think they would just buy Bitcoin, honestly. You know, I'm fine with buying stocks. Buy stocks if you have a lot of money. If you have a lot of money, buy stocks. But I use a strategy where I save a certain amount. I mean, I could put it in the market, I guess, and make money. But, you know, I like having money as well in my bank account.
You're pretty fired up about this Epstein thing. I just got a call from someone in Washington. Let's not say his name, but he was like, wait.
A very dialed in guy. Super dialed in.
Really super dialed in guy. And he's like, wait, is this Epstein thing kind of big? I thought it's over. And so, first of all,
they think it's over because the media had 8 minutes of President Trump ask 20 questions and didn't mention it once. So even President Trump thinks it's over.
And so, Steve, what is your recommendation, your suggestion on how to fix this?
There's only one way to fix this. We have to come out of Tampa, just like the Patriots did on doing like the Boston Resolves. We have to come out with the Tampa Resolves. 2 or 3 action steps by Sunday afternoon. We're all committed to, all of us, to say this must happen. And I think it's special prosecutor ever. But we have to say no more, nothing. We have to go forward with this. And the reason we're going forward with this, we're there to assist and augment President Trump, to help save President Trump's presidency, because they are coming for another coup. You can see it happening. Just like the dark clouds were around Kennedy, right? They moved in and moved in and moved in. They assassinated Diem in Vietnam, and then they blew his head off in the middle of the day in Dallas, Texas, with a patsy named Lee Harvey Oswald that we find out 62 years later was on the payroll of the CIA. After they looked your parents in the eye and lied to them for 60 years, they're going to lie about everything today and hope that 70 years from now, nobody will care about it. Do you care about it? If we don't come out of here united with Turning Point, as powerful as Turning Point is, if we don't come out of here and say, no more, nothing more, we must have this, because if we don't take down the deep state, we're going to lose the entire country. And they think they're winning. They're laughing at us right now. They're laughing at you. They're mocking you. This is the Epstein is the question's very simple. Who governs this country? The American people or the deep state?
So Bannon and Charlie Kirk gonna be announcing a presidential run with Charlie Kirk as the VP. Charlie Coke is uncomfortable. Yeah. I mean, that's his event, I think. Bondi has no intention of stepping down. This Raw Alerts partners with Polymarket, really? Grok 4 thoughts. Grok 4 is impressive. I mean, this is all the language models. They get released, they say how impressive they are. It's like, all right, man. You know, like it's the arms race of the AI sector. BMRA, it's up over 5% in like 2 weeks. It's an Ethereum ETF. BMR. Wait, what was it? BMNR. Holy, it looks like a meme coin. Dude, it looks like a meme coin. That's pretty crazy. You love Steve Bannon, he's a big heavyweight, and he's a big fella. AI is just a really good search engine. Well, it's a nuanced search engine. It crashed. Well, yeah, when it pumps that much, it's gonna come crashing down.
And you know, something that you should have that you haven't reported. As you know, 300,000 children are missing, right? 300,000 under Biden. We've already gotten back 10,000 of those children, and we have a lot more planned to come back. We're getting them back by the thousands, but 300,000, and as of this morning, over 10,000 we've gotten back. And you know,
Trump getting angry with Russia on their strikes onto Ukraine. Thoughts on the Powell situation? I don't think he's gonna. I think they're pressuring him. It's a public pressure campaign. I think. Maybe it's true. Maybe he is considering it. I don't know. I feel like they're putting it out there though. You know, that was Trump people that put it out there. Where does Trump find 10,000 missing kids? It was like the border with there were a bunch of missing children apparently under the Biden administration along that came through the border. What is this, like a meme thing? Hey, unknown, what's up, man? Russia should invade Baltics. They're gonna overextend themselves. They can barely get Ukraine. They can't even get Ukraine. How's your sleeping? My sleeping's fine. Gatorade used to be so good in like the mid 20s. I think they put more sugar in it when I was younger. They definitely changed it a bit. Skinny European women or thick American. Depends how thick. I mean, thick has got like dual meanings with women and their bodies. Can you show your tweets today? I didn't really have many tweets today, I don't think. I think I was bitching about the weather, honestly. And then people, it's just this weird session, people. They're like, oh, but this, I know it's always gonna happen. It happens every time. I tweet something, and then people immediately want to tell me, well, at least you're not in Texas. At least you're not. Well, listen, it's 87 degrees every day. I wake up, and I looked at my phone at like 9 a.m. It's already 80 degrees. The real feel heat index is 87. So I'm like, oh, let me at least drown in my sorrows and tweet about it. And then there's always people that say, you can't handle Texas. You can't handle fucking God knows wherever they are. That's what they always tell me. It's annoying. Prediction on how things will look by the end of Trump's term. Well, I think that we'll generate a good amount of money in tariff revenue. That's about all I can say at this point. Because it seems like he's sticking to the tariffs, but I don't know about anything else. I mean, I think at that point you would hope the Ukraine-Russia war would be over. But I mean, what is it? Me predicting it in 3 years even do? I mean, it's like, language learning models and search engines do share some similarities. Both sit on top of databases. Language learning models and databases will become more common than search engines. Oh no, absolutely. Well, they're better. They're more efficient, and they're more nuanced. Yeah, this is. You know what? Let me show it. It becomes like a dick measuring expedition on who goes in the hottest weather. It's a never-ending trap of 87 degrees every day. This is what it is. It's like 10 o'clock in the morning. It's 85 degrees. Come to Florida. That's beautiful in Texas. It's not even bad. Yeah, and 40% humidity. Yeah, this is an Ohio. This is a fellow Ohioan. It's 97 for me. It's 109. It's 90s. Well, this is someone 80 in Seattle. 87 would be nice. Just glad you're not in Texas. 110 in Arizona. This is what we have to do. 50. 121. No, that's not. Cars, they go by their engine heat sometimes. My car said it was 99 today. It's not. Don't ever come to Texas, dude. I don't need the dick measuring contest about who lives in the hottest heat. I'm just sick of the hot. But it's like this constant artillery barrage of, you don't live in Texas, son. You don't live in, Florida. I don't even know if Florida's hotter than where it's been in Ohio. It's been really hot. $95 in Utah. How is 95 in Utah? Yeah, Utah and those areas, they do get extreme. You guys get extreme heat, but you also get, the high will be 95, the low will be 60. Here, the high will be 87, the low will be like 75. Show the so cute gay photo. I don't know what that is. Michael, I appreciate it. You disagree with language learning models being more efficient. A stick shift is more efficient than an automatic, but an automatic is easier to use. Yeah, but language learning models are easy to use. Person on the call with Epstein, Robert, I appreciate it. Person on the call with Epstein was identified as individual one. Epstein told one they were trying to keep them safe. The case would be long. He loved her and to be strong. He can't call her again for a month. So he said that 2 days before supposedly killing himself, he said the case was going to be long. That's interesting. It's an interesting phone call. You like 65 to 70? I like it's when it's in the low 60s, preferably. Low 60s, high 50s, I like. So it's like I enjoy, I guess, the springtime. I enjoy the fall. Your buddy knew a buddy who your buddy knew a buddy who knew a girl who named her baby daughter Utah. Utah is a name. Yeah, some of these women, they got crazy names. I mean, all the names now are like Aiden and I don't even know some of the names, but the names are just, they get the new metas. Are Dogecoin and Shiba Inu over? Well, they're boomer coins. Florida summers are always the most uncomfortable. Yeah, it's because of the humidity. The humidity and how much it rains in Florida. The rain creates terrible humidity and mugginess. Because it'll rain more in Florida than those other states like Arizona. Arizona's just really dry. Just dry heat. So it's hot, but it's dry. Hot names are Muhammad and Jose in America. Remember the number one name in London was Muhammad? Unbelievable. They're like, well, it's just because they name all their kids Muhammad. But how? I mean, that's ridiculous. Yeah, I said so. I think Bondi's gonna resign, and then they're gonna have to do something with the Epstein stuff. Probably release something. I would assume, try and placate the people. The 1,300 state deputy staffers who got fired are hilarious. They're sobbing in the streets. Really? I haven't seen video of that. Would Bondi really resign if she got pressured? I mean, they're pressuring her. They're pressuring her to resign. If Trump tells her to resign, she's gonna have to go. Bondi said she won't resign. Yeah, I mean, then Trump says to resign and she'll be gone. Massive drone strike on Ukraine by Russia. XAI targets $200 billion valuation. People always do this. This died out. Well, yeah, the news cycle, it moves. It's like that's a constant thing people say now just for clicks. This died out. This thing in the news 10 days ago died out really quick. When you were in middle school, it was 80% white in Utah. Now your little brother goes to the same school and it's majority Hispanic. In Utah, it's majority Hispanic. I mean, you got to be in like a major city. I don't even know the major city is. Salt Lake City, Utah, Snowbird, Utah. Well, that's a ski resort, but it might also be it's like a snow town. Alta. That's a ski resort in Utah. Was Valley City right next to Salt Lake? So it's like a suburb outside of Salt Lake. Alta #1. Yeah, it's good. We don't want snowboarders. That's true. Did they still not allow snowboarders? They get so mad about that. I don't ski anymore. I'd like to get back to it, but you're going to a college soon, and apparently one of your professors you have can barely speak English, and everyone fails. They can't understand him. You're joking. Well, I mean, college has got to be a joke with those courses. Don't most people do online shit anyways now? I don't know. It's like in-person college. I feel like I would lose my mind having it. But I mean, that's like people still do it, and you have to go to. I mean, if you want a good job, I guess you could. Without a degree, it's very hard. But yeah, I don't know. College is just they have to they got to restructure the entire system. It's just not working for young people, at least like it used to. We're still paying for weapons because we fund most of NATO. No, 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 no. It's all proportional. We're paying for a small percentage. I don't know what the percentage is, but the point of it is with Ukraine is we're getting back minerals. Now, whether or not that actually happens, I don't know. Bring back hot professors. There's been a lot of stories recently of women teachers having sex with the male students. There's a lot of cases of that. NATO members paying 5% of GDP now. Yeah, I know. So it's good. They're upping, and really, it's good for everyone because they're not gonna have to rely on the United States now. If we only have to pay for a relatively small percentage and we have the minerals deal, you're okay with sending them weapons? Well, the weapons are trying to end the war, honestly. It's a deterrence from Russia to try and pressure them into some type of deal. Because if they can just run roughshod, why would they ever end it? So they're trying to do that. Did you see that BlackRock said nobody is investing in their rebuild of Ukraine? Well, shouldn't they wait until the fucking war is over to rebuild it? They're still getting hit with drone strikes. Ukraine is. Why did Trump not tweet about the drama? Because I mean, you let it simmer. It doesn't make sense to tweet about it right now. Yeah, I mean, people are saying Trump might be on Bondi's side. We'll have to see. Your university has a course dedicated to hip hop culture, focus on Kendrick Lamar. Yeah, that's. It must be like what is that? Just a general studies fucking course, or like if you go into music. instruments. Go to Ireland, find a ginger. Yeah, I mean, they would appreciate me a lot more in Ireland for sure, I think, than America. But the problem with Ireland is they're a lot more poor. They're very poor in Ireland. You know, their weather's nice, so it's like in the 60s every day. It's in the 40s, so depending on the year or depending on the month, depending on the season. You think we can reach 500 million? Yeah, hopefully. I mean, we're gonna need the super cycle, but I think we're gonna. I mean, if we get a total crypto market cap of 10 trillion, I think we can hit 500 million. You know, we need SPX to go to like 20 billion as well. I mean, think about it. 100x from here is what, 600 million? They just had a ginger festival. Yeah, they have it every year. They have a ginger festival every year. They try banning it. It's like say it's a racist. No, that's a yearly tradition there. No, I'm not. I'm not doing that. I'm not a passport, bro. Why would I be a passport, bro? I mean, like, it's just never been appealing to me. Are you 100% Irish? I'm very heavily Irish. I'm like Irish, Scottish, English. Per Google AI, U.S. student debt 1.78 trillion. And then look at between the women and the men. The men are actually paying it down. The women are not at all. The women are just getting farmed by colleges. They're just throwing all their money for fucking nothing, and then they get in these and then the jobs that they get, they're all receptionists, and it's just. I mean, look at see the lady as police officers. It's just like this is not your business. This is not your forte here. You shouldn't be on duty police officer. Nelk Boys Netanyahu interview comes out Monday. I don't know what the Nelk Boys were thinking with that. That's a terrible idea for them. You know, the Nelk Boys fan base is they're all young kids. They all probably hate Israel. I mean, this is I don't know what they would have thought would have happened. Maybe they got paid a bunch to do it. Does Trump actually have control over his tweets these days? Yeah, he has control. He says that he tells the women what to write, and then they put it out. So he'll be like pacing around saying stuff, and the women will be typing it. The secretaries. Are you a purebred ginger? Well, I really should do an official test, although people say they steal your DNA or whatever, the data, I don't know. It's based off of the parents' surnames. Both of the surnames are heavily Irish surnames. Charlie Kirk is pushing for the Mrs. degree for some reason. Why does a girl need to spend 100K to get a husband? Yeah, I saw that. That was this thing where he's saying go get a degree in like being a mom or something. I mean, you know, it's hard because now they're all in the. It's like they want to all join the workforce, but they, it's this. What else are they gonna do? What is an 18-year-old girl gonna do other than go to college? When does the sun set in Ohio? Heard it's pretty late. Yeah, well, you can tell if the sun sets early or late based off of the time zone changes. So, like, if you look at where we're located, it sets a little bit later because we're in the Eastern Standard Time, but Ohio is more towards the western side of the Eastern Standard Time. The Eastern Standard Time ends, I think, after Indiana. So Indiana, it sets even later. But Indiana borders us to the west, and they have the same time zone as us, I believe, their entire state. Community college trade schools are most affordable way for young adults to start their careers. Yeah, and I think that's gaining more popularity, I believe. I mean, the problem with trade, it's a lot of it's blue collar work. Blue collar work is challenging for people, and it's a strain on the body. If a girl does that, she is going to get a degree that she doesn't use. Yeah, but I don't even know. What even is that program that he's suggesting? I don't think you pay much money for that. To get a degree in what? Becoming a mom? That costs $100K? Yeah, you can't really inherit. I mean, how much debt are you? These men are inheriting debt from women. It's like, I mean, I guess if you have a lot of money, but oof. You think Trump fires the trio? No, Trump would not fire the trio. That really wouldn't make sense unless Trump is just so pissed off at all of them. But I really don't get that he's that pissed off. To me, he seems like he wants to move on from the situation and not really talk about it anymore. I don't think he's really pissed off about it. So I don't think he would fire all three of them. This seems like an internal battle between Bongino, Patel, and Bondi. What consoles did you grow up with? Xbox original, Xbox 360. So those were the two main ones. We got the 360 in like 2009, 2010. And then my brother had a PSP. I had a Nintendo DS. We had a Wii, the original Wii that came out in like 2007. I think the Wii was the single, and maybe it wasn't, but just the Wii was just the biggest thing, the biggest console release I've ever seen in my life. I have never seen and I was younger, so maybe it's just how I remember it. I have never seen a console release with as much hype as the original Wii got. The original Wii was like, and then you got Guitar Hero, you get Wii Sports. I mean, it's like the most, that's like before even the iPhones, or like the iPhones had just come out. If you're smart, you'll get a STEM job and then a degree. Yeah, I guess in terms of like blue collar versus not. Wii was a good console. OG Wii hype was just insane. No, I never seen anything like that. They say with the PS5, the PS5 was botched. That's why it got all the hype. The OG Wii, and that's like, because it's before all the age of all the social media and stuff. But it was just like the hype for the OG Wii was, and we got it for Christmas. It was like a family thing. It was a family thing. It wasn't even like it was because you get it and you play with your family. And bowling was the most popular thing when it first came out. Wii Sports, it came with it, I think, so that's why it was so popular. I don't know if they've got they made a Wii 2. I never got the second one. You had a Game Boy Advance, a Wii, DS, PS3, 3DS. I never got a 3DS. I just had a regular DS. And then what happened is from the DS, I went to the iPod Touch 4th generation, which was like the big thing. Because we would get the iPods. We didn't get the iPhones when we were younger. You get the iPods. The iPods don't have, you don't really have data. So, it's just based off of Wi-Fi. Man, that iPod Touch was so small. Thinking back to it, I remember that. And I thought that was the iPod Touch 4th generation My number one thing that I wanted the most out of anything, any Christmas, was the iPod Touch 4th generation, 32 gigabytes, and that was the thing that I wanted the most out of really anything, any Christmas. And I would get a ton of Legos, things like that. But yeah, we got a 360 one year. What other big gifts? Game Sphere, the Drake and Josh. Yeah, the remember the pear phone? What was that, Victorious? The pear phone. Just a stupid. Who would have a phone that's fucking shaped like a pear? The pear pod. Remember the iPad first generation? Yeah, I remember I had an iPad mini and then I got a larger iPad. Rock Band and Guitar Hero. Yeah, my friend had Rock Band, I had Guitar Hero. What was Rock Band on? What console was it on? Was it on the Wii too? I never had Rock Band, I had Guitar Hero. I think Guitar Hero is better than Rock Band. Rock Band, you could play the drums and shit, but just looking at the notes, it was just better on Guitar Hero. Anything was a flop, it was VR and related tech to the Apple Vision Pro. You have a Meta 3 Quest, which is cool, but it doesn't have enough good games and uses. Yeah, I think to me, I think it might have been a bit early. That was the whole craze. You guys know the sandbox, that crypto in the metaverse, Decentraland. That's another one. 2021. That was big. Yeah, it was all about the metaverse. But the metaverse it looked like the avatars were so fucked up. They looked weird. They looked like almost vile they were like disturbing. They were like horror characters. If you look at the metaverse, the characters. But I mean, I understand the idea of the metaverse, and I think, it's like the Ready Player One shit. But it's also very dystopian. Yeah, I don't know what Zuckerberg did changing his name to the name. I think Zuckerberg probably had some type of. This is what I think. I think he probably had a midlife crisis. And he either got ashamed of Facebook or something, or he thought he was like a god creating this metaverse and he had to change the name. Like, there was obviously something that happened there. But look at, I mean, these really rich people, they get real obsessed with like their naming stuff. And, Musk with X. I mean, Twitter was the perfect name for that app, and he just changes it. He's like got this obsession with the letter X. Metaverse is interesting, and you were in it. It was pretty close to Ready Player One, and you can do so much. Did you have a virtual relationship? I'm just kidding. No, I'm kidding. But I'd be interested to go into the metaverse. You know anything about cloud mining? I remember when I tried to mine cryptocurrency back in 2017, 2018. I tried to buy crypto and Coinbase banned me in 2017. And I haven't used Coinbase real much. I've had issues with Coinbase. But there's like a law you can't buy crypto if you're below the age of 18. I was trying to buy a Litecoin. You know, Coinbase only offered 3. Well, then they added Bitcoin Cash. You could only buy 3 things off of Coinbase. I wish I would have bought Dogecoin, but you can only buy 3 things: Bitcoin, Ethereum, Litecoin. And then they added Bitcoin Cash in 2017. Now they've got it integrated with the Bitcoin wallet. You can buy pretty much all the altcoins. Your class, you don't know many classmates graduating on time in engineering. Most take 5 to 6 years. Well, yeah, it's always dragged out. If you get a decent degree, it's probably going to be dragged out. I mean, I guess it depends, but if you want a really good paying job, you know, they say any of the shit that's like high level stuff like lawyers or doctors, you're in for like, it's a decade thing. You're a student for a decade. Wonder what if DG2 is pumping. DG2, amazing. You only use Coinbase? I never use Coinbase. I use Kraken, which is you know, Coinbase is easier because the Coinbase wallet is integrated, so it's easier for newer people. You don't have to really exchange it anywhere or send it to Uniswap or Phantom. Which one did you get first, Facebook, Instagram, or Twitter? No, we didn't really use Facebook. It would be probably Instagram or Twitter. I mean, I think most it was normally to probably go on Instagram first and then Twitter, just because Twitter, you know, for a kid is a little bit more boring. Now, you know, back then it was all just writing on Twitter. Now, obviously, there's videos and everything, but I think most kids now do TikTok. Pick 2, leave 1, meat, air conditioning, sugar. Well, I'm picking the air conditioning, and then it's down to meat and sugar. I mean, I don't know. It's like, it seems like sugar's in so much stuff. I don't know what sugar's in exactly. I probably need the meat, honestly. NASDAQ 420 is at, yeah, it's at 6 million. You remember when it was at 15 million? Yeah. No, I think it'll go way past 15 million. You just got to be patient and continue to hold it. I mean, think about the time period we're in. You know, we're on the verge of a major bull run. First with Bitcoin, it's already happening with Bitcoin, but then the alts. So once the alts start going, I mean, ideally NASDAQ would be set up before then to where it reaches like 100 million before then, and then, which is 10 cents, and then goes even higher when the actual alt blow off top happens. So hopefully it sets up better, but I mean, in worst case, we're going to get a pump from it. A big pump, hopefully. You know, it's setting itself up as a meta play with SPX. Aqua Teen Hunger Force. Yeah. We used to watch that show at sleepovers. Robot Chicken and that show and Family Guy. Give us your resources. We love you. Hand over your gold and rare earth minerals. We are the colonizers that save countries. Bongino and Patel going bye-bye. Yeah, more like Bondi. Did you ever watch Squidbillies? No, I never watched that. On Adult Swim, I watched the Aqua Teen, probably another show I'm forgetting. Just Aqua Teen Hunger Force, Family Guy, Robot Chicken. Robot Chicken was like on it from 1 to 2, and then the other. But when you're younger, you stay up to like 3 or 4, and it's a fun thing. Nowadays, I just stay up till 3, not by choice, because I can't sleep. Happy Tree, the Happy Tree Friend stuff. Come on, man. That's like, yeah, I never. It's just like, some people. It's just like, that's not necessary. You think Trump loves Bondi? Well, it doesn't really matter. It's time for her to go. Kind of insulting now everyone puts engineer in their title. Solutions engineer. Yeah, well, they're trying to sound more professional. Are you am I worried about Trump getting slaughtered in the midterms? No, it wouldn't be over Epstein. The Democrats have no play on Epstein. What are the Democrats going to say? Oh, we didn't declassify them either. Like, I don't know what they're going to say. I mean, they could say, well, Trump promised he would declassify them. He said he would probably do it. He never explicitly said that. And the Democrats hit it for 4 years under Biden and even before that. So it's like, what is the Democrats' play there? Can it just be argued that they did the same thing? And the Democratic voter base didn't even demand they were released. So how much do the Democrats really care about the girls that were abused? Mog went crazy. This is a very interesting one. I don't have this coin, the Ion 5100. It's like it's an AI agent. It's an AI data thing that it's almost like a strategic military predictor. It's very interesting, but it got the Trump B-2 bombers wrong because I asked it and it got it wrong. But what is Mog doing? Yeah, Mog's been impressive. Mog's gonna obviously make a new high at some point. It had to recover. It'll make a new high. Does Trump smash Bondi in the White House? Yeah, it's probably something. If he's that protective of her, I mean, with Trump, I mean, who knows, man? It isn't about what the Democrats have when it comes to two-party system. But I mean, you're also talking about the midterms, and you understand the midterms are not going to be decided by Epstein. They're going to be decided, and I know that's simplifying it, and it's more so a government cover-up, but it's going to be decided by the economy and possibly something that happens next year. Remember Roe v. Wade in 2020 or 2022? I mean, so let's just see what happens next year. I mean, you're trying to predict something that's not. Why do you like Kraken over Uniswap? No. It's just Kraken and Uniswap. Uniswap is a decentralized, exchange. Kraken is centralized, so you onboard through Kraken and then you exchange it onto Uniswap. If you use Coinbase, you don't have to do that. You can just do it all on Coinbase because of the wallet. The reason I like Kraken over Coinbase is because Coinbase always gives me shit, and I have issues signing into Coinbase. I don't know why. I think I might have made too many accounts or something. Is the base going to be happy with 1.5 million deportations by the midterms? Well, I mean, they probably would be happy with that. Yeah, they'd probably be happy with that. Because 1.5 million, that would be outperforming the current numbers they're on. Dear men in the chat, your standards are way too low. Dude, these guys, man, it is... Anytime a woman is mentioned, or it's just like a constant... It's just like you can't even... It's a straight obsession. Ever leverage trade? No, I never done that. That's just another way for me to lose money. I'll stay away from that. You think the base wants the Epstein list more than anything? I think the base will care about one thing, and then another week they'll care about another thing, and then another week they'll care about another thing. You underestimate that. Come back to me in a few weeks, and, you know, with politics, that's kind of how it works nowadays. But yeah, I mean, it's going to be a bad look if this is how it ends. I don't know if it is. Maybe they'll end up releasing something or saying, I mean, I guess it depends how bad the approval ends up being for Trump. Average American woman is 5'4" and weighs 170. That can't be true. One's 5'4" and 170. Dude, I weigh like 155 and I'm basically 5'10". Five four 170 is crazy work. The base was independent. They care about depth. The MAGA is just... Yeah, but the liberals are the same thing, dude. The liberals get fed fucking the ghetto trash from Jasmine Crockett and they eat it up. I mean, it's the same thing on both sides. You're going to sit there and tell me that liberals don't have this... I mean... There's going to be a hardcore base on both sides. Basically 5'10". Yeah, basically 5'10 and a half. 5'5" and 129. Dude. I mean, 5'5" is skinnier, but if you're an adult male, 5'29". Blacks are 3 to 4 times more likely to be obese, and white Americans get flack for it. But I think white Americans are also not in good shape, to be honest. Like, I know what you're saying, but I think we need to get into better shape. You know, we need to just... But I know I get what you're saying, but it, you know, it's an American issue. It is also white people as well. Chris Christie or Manute Bo. Well, you've got serious problems either way. Bo had serious, you know, when you get that tall. Six two 210. I guess it depends how much you work out if you're 6'2", 210. But that could be that could be proportionately that could be good. 6'2", women will like that. Bondi was Florida AG 2011 to 2019, had Epstein info. Yeah, Bondi is... I don't know, man. Man, look at these crazy buy orders. Mike, I appreciate it. 2015 supporter here. Lost friends, family, girls over it. Love what Trump is doing regarding deportation, economy, etc. But accountability must be done to keep his base. Hillary Clinton, Seth Rich, COVID 2020, etc. Yeah, I mean, I think they're going to have to do something. I think they're going to get rid of Bondi. Or they're gonna have to say something about this and try and smooth it over in some way. We'll have to see. $513.90. How are you alive? Six foot 225, 10% body. How much muscle do you have? That's not. I don't think that's a realistic proportion. You're fat. Well, I can't be your personal trainer. I don't even work out. I can't be your personal trainer. But you don't even have to. I mean, you know, it's about portion control. You selling anything today? I'm not selling. I'm not a trader. I'm not gonna sell anything. What's that altcoin? Yeah, it's just fucking called altcoin. What the fuck? How is this coin doing this well? They come up with trash like this and it goes to 80. It's just like, it's trash. This has got to be some type of rug or something. 80 million. You're pretty skinny and good efficient foods for gaining healthy weight. Yeah, it's better to be skinny, or you know, people tell me to bulk and stuff. I'd rather not bulk, honestly. I'd rather not bulk. I have a lot of muscle anyways. You're gonna start change smoking and eating ice cream by the tub, then blame me. Yeah, you're always the victim. You're always the victim. That's why you can't lose this weight. I'm trying to give you motivation. You're not a trader, so you hold meme coins and investment? Bruh. The only way you make a lot of money on meme coins is if you prolong hold. That's it. You're not making money through trading meme coins. Mike Johnson, why don't you create the coin Mike Johnson if you want it so bad? The Mike Johnson coin is dead. Ban Dean? Why would I ban my AI agent? What's the ideal weight for a 5'10 guy? I mean, it depends how much muscle you have. Ideally, if you had muscle, ideally 5'10, if you're in really good shape with muscle, probably like 180. But you can very easily at 5'10 be skinny fat at 180. Like if I was 180, I'd definitely be skinny fat. But if I built it up with muscle, you could be like 175, 180 with good muscle at 5'10, I think. Mm. 5'10", 240 is obese. Yeah, 5'10", 240 is crazy. Because if I'm basically 5'10", 150, I mean, yeah, that's. How are you so knowledgeable on politics? I didn't see that. You were gonna say something to me, sir? Six one 182. No, you're not cooked. That's probably pretty good. 6'1", 182 is probably good. unless you're skinny fat. But I don't know if you'd be skinny fat at 6'1". 6'1" is, that's probably proportionately pretty good. 6'1", 182. 6'2", 185. That's proportionately probably really good. Sam Sulek is 5'11". Yeah, but Sam Sulek is on every steroid known to man. Sam Sulek is not healthy. Now, I'm not going to be queer about it and be like, oh, he shouldn't. I mean, if you make a bunch of money doing that, I guess, but that's not something that's attainable for a normal person to be at that weight and that height and be ripped. You have to be on a significant amount of steroids to be able to maintain that. Really? The 2.0 is? Yeah, the 2.0 starting. Oh, the 2.0. You're right. Just let the 2.0 go. The 2.0. NASDAQ, it's been hanging around. It'll be breaking out real soon. The 2.0. Starting an ascension. What about Liver King? No, I heard about that. I heard he's gonna fight Rogan, and so that'll be a good thing. And we'll have to see who wins that. If you're 5'10", 240, you either are on steroids or have hella jelly rolled. Yeah, like 99.9 of people are gonna be just morbidly obese if you're that proportions. Mm-hmm. 5'11", 230, bench 225. I don't know about benching. I'm not sure about how much people bench and stuff like that. I didn't really bench. I only benched a few times. Need Doge to break 21 cents. That's where it's at right now, 21. Yeah, it wasn't it in like the 40s back in the winter, back in like November. But Doge will make a comeback. I think Doge will go back up to $1, or go to the dollar for the first time. You gonna watch the Fuentes Owens talk? I think, I don't know. I think they said it was behind a paywall. I don't think I'm gonna watch it, honestly, man. Can't imagine being 150 as a grown man. Dude, you're 5'10", 240. Trust me, you shouldn't be talking. $5'11", 300, Big Mike in the house. Your PR is 1510. I'm not sure what that means. Thoughts on stonks? Yeah, I know that coin, stonks. Yeah, stonks. It's an old meme. Stonks. Which one is it? No, not the one on Solana. There's two of them. There's one on. This is the annoying thing. So there's two of them. We'll go with the one on Ethereum. Stonks. Dude, I'm at this thing was at nothing, and then 40 million. Yeah, I'm not gonna buy this coin, but I guess it could do something. Large accumulation. Damn, I didn't really realize this coin was. But this is the Ethereum one. If they've got one on Solana and one on Ethereum, that's going to mess with it. Free on X, but it was bullshit. Candace treated Harvey Weinstein better than Nick. Is it all on X? I think she'd probably be pretty angry about that if she wanted it paywalled. I don't know why anyone paywalls stuff like that. It's just like, are we still paywalling things in 2025? It seems like everything should be, if especially anything like that. Stonks. Females weigh more than 150. They shouldn't weigh more than that. No. A healthy in-shape female is going to be a lot less than 150. Well, it depends on their height. But they'll be less. If they're like 5'3", if I'm looking for like a girl that's 5'2", 5'3", they'll certainly be less. What price are you gonna sell Nasdaq? Hopefully when it's over $1 billion. But it'll depend. When I'll sell is basically when the market gets oversold. So just, I would say, well, I guess it depends on when the fucking coins run. But we're not selling until way after Bitcoin, reaches its high, and then so I think we got to be holding for a while, because we're gonna have to have Bitcoin reach its high, and then the money's gonna get dumped into the alts, and then when everyone starts buying them, then we sell. And there should be a ton of liquidity. But Bitcoin, it's going to take probably a few months for it to get to its high. People are saying maybe even into 2026. Would you date a girl that's 6 foot but barefoot? No, I can't have that dynamic. I'm against that. I mean, I guess you say, well, that women get angry. The problem with women is they'll be 5'2", 5'3", and they'll demand, 6 foot. I just want a girl that's like 5'8" or lower. That's like 95% of the pool, anyways, or at least 90% of the pool. You had to go to a movie. Well, what movie did you see? The F1 movie? There's actually a decent amount of movies out. The F1 movie, Superman, and then I think there's another one people were talking about. Nobody knows BTC's high. Yeah, you could kind of predict it based off of past cycles, but nobody's going to get it perfectly right. What's too tall for a guy? You're 6'6", wouldn't mind shrinking a few inches. Yeah, I mean, I could see 6'6". I think probably the perfect Chad height is 6'2" or 6'3". But 6'6" is not a big problem. Women would like that for sure, over being shorter. Jurassic movie, that's right. Yeah, there's a lot of these movies out. I never seen any of these ones. The only one I saw was the 28 years later. I don't even think that's out anymore. Just lost 26K in Dogecoin. That's impossible. Unless it was some type of leverage thing. Dogecoin is way too. It's not volatile enough to lose that much. How can you predict it? It's based off of 4-year cycle trends. You can predict around the high. I mean, maybe it's wrong, but it's probably around 150 to 180 is what I would say the cycle high is. Bullish would be 180 to 200. You saw F1, it was good. Yeah, I heard about it. I heard it. I watched trailers for it. It's like he's tutoring. He's tutoring an African racer or something. Yeah, I know. 4chan is finally starting. Dude, I'm surprised. Honestly, I'm surprised it went as low as it did. But you have to wonder. I mean, with these coins, you just hope at some point it catches. You know, it has had a few good days. I'm excited it's had these days, and hopefully it continues. But you know, Kekistan, that was one that I missed. The Kekistan coin, I'm so pissed off. I've lost out on generational wealth with that one. I can already tell. That's an Ethereum runner. Wakanda, dude, remember that? And then there's just one little. Here, take a look at this. I don't even think people understood this, but this is what I put out. New house going up in my development. Dude, this is what they built. You can see it. They're trying to make some futuristic city, and this is what they got done. They're abandoning this now. They got one building done. Well, they didn't even get it done. They got it, 10% done. $1 million possible next year for Bitcoin. I don't see how that's possible. 1 million Bitcoin, you'd be rivaling the market cap of gold. So I don't think it happens that quickly. But the expectation has always been 1 million by 2030, which it's only 5 years away. Well, the next cycle, but I don't see next cycle how it's going to go to 1 million. Unless it starts defying the cycle trends, which could happen. $1 million is not possible. Yeah, I don't think there's enough money in crypto right now for it to be 1 million. Because 1 million would be, I mean, think about the total market cap of crypto is probably only going to be 10 trillion this cycle. So Bitcoin itself would have to be 20 trillion to go to 1 million, basically. There's a new post. It's thank you for telling me. This is big. This is big news. There's a new Eric post. More bad. Is it seriously more bad news? You're trolling. On a Friday night, you're trolling. A judge orders DHS and ICE to halt indiscriminate immigration stops. No, this is not news. This is not news. No, we're not doing a poll on that, dude. It's just there's no point to do a poll on that. Movie theaters are ghost towns. Has no one near me or your girlfriend. Yeah, I hear ya. I mean, but it depends. That F1 movie's probably been out for a while. Movies are gonna go through a renaissance here. Once they release that new Alien movie, they release the next Interstellar. The movies are coming back. I like movies if they're good. And there were some really good movies, and we need those again. Democracy is cancer. Democracy dies in darkness. Don't you know that? This is true democracy when a judge does this. Yeah, I like going to the movie theaters. The movie theaters are good to go to. The movie theaters are good. When's your next Q&A video? Well, I'm gonna do another video on the porch. It's probably gonna be great. I'll be grading Trump, so that'll be coming, and that's a night where I'm not gonna be able to stream when I do that. But that video will be coming at some point. I'll be great. I don't know if I'll grade Trump or I'll just talk about the situation with the economy, the foreign affairs. Inflation is part of economy, social shit, just like all the major broad shit. I'll talk about what Trump has been doing. I think I've been wanting to do that video, but now we've got this situation and it's harder to do. It's kind of muddled a little bit because of the Epstein stuff. Les Pedro Pascal. Yeah, that dude's annoying. He's in every movie, and he's like this weird womanizer who constantly touches women and then says it's because of anxiety. Have you seen that? He like touches women. He's like, well, it's because I have anxiety. And then these dumb liberal women, because he's like this liberal cuck, they're like, oh, he's so fun. He's so sexy. Because he's like a liberal, and they like him. Whatever happened to Trump suing Ann Selzer over the Iowa poll? It's not. You can't do that. I mean, like we Trump does that sometimes. Like I'm not even sure that's allowed, honestly. Like you can't sue someone over that. But look, it's whatever. I think it got thrown away, honestly, or some shit. They definitely didn't. They didn't settle it. I think it just got thrown out. It's got to be interesting to be walking down a plane and know if you slip, it's going to be like the biggest story in the news for the next 12 hours. It's just got to be interesting. Do women goon or just guys? Well, they have to goon. I think it's harder for them. Slide down the rail. Yeah, Trump can't risk that. Trump's not gonna be able to risk that. Clutch the handrail. The Biden fall haunted him for his entire presidency. Well, that's because there was already... Nah, I don't think it really did. I mean, to me, it was a bunch of shit that with Biden. But you can fall as long as you can coherently talk. He couldn't coherently talk, and so it kind of compounded. Where's my cat? I mean, my cat's sleeping, man. The cat is just... I mean, it's always something with the cat. Trump a gooner. I doubt it at his age. Biden falling off the bike. Yeah, I remember that. That was like early on in his presidency. He just fucking... He stopped and then just fell. Like, he's just not there. All right, guys, that's going to do it for this live stream. That was actually longer than I thought this was going to be. I thought this was going to be a quicker live stream. It's about 2-3 hours almost. Yeah, no, you can't really ban them. They're most of my fans. they're all my fans. Oh man, I can't. I'm gonna be able to do that. All right, guys. Make sure you, yeah, guys, well, actually, you're already all subscribed if you comment. Trying to get to the 300K. Wired article today: metadata embedded in Epstein's prison video was analyzed by video forensic experts who said footage was edited. Yeah, I saw that. That's insane if that's true. I mean, that's like next level pathetic, and that just makes all of them look terrible. That even makes Bongino look terrible because he's the one that said, we've got the video and it's 10 hours and it proves that he killed himself. That's what Bongino said. So, I mean, there's all problems with this. Even with Bongino. Sorry I insulted your cat. Well, it's quite all right. You're gonna have to tell the cat though. You're gonna have to apologize to the cat. All right, guys. I'll see you.